All right, everyone. Ready to head back to Hogwarts with me? You know that feeling when you first open Harry Potter, like the anticipation, the magic? Well, today we're diving back into those stories, but this time we're bringing our grown-up brains with us. It turns out there's a surprising amount we may have missed as kids.
It's amazing how those books stay with you. You know that world, those characters, they tap into something I think we all connect to.
Oh, totally. Like Harry with the Dursleys, before Hogwarts, I feel like most of us felt that not fitting in thing.
Yeah, that need to belong. It's a big one. It's something we all go through, I think, and Harry's journey to find his place at Hogwarts, but also like as a wizard,
Mm.
just speaks to that like human need for connection, to be accepted.
And then bam, Hogwarts. Like you found your people, right? And we can't forget the Sorting Hat. Did you ever secretly wish you could get sorted into Gryffindor or Ravenclaw?
You know what's really cool about the Sorting Hat is it wasn't just about like putting kids in a house that matched their personality. It was about choice. Like remember Harry begging not to be in Slytherin? That choice is a powerful message. We're not just stuck with like who we are at the start. We can choose who we become.
Whoa. See, that's something I never thought of before. And it wasn't just the houses, right? Hogwarts was like this crazy mix of magical creatures, different people from everywhere.
Exactly. Like Hagrid, half giant, super loyal, or even like the ghosts just hanging out, each with their own story. Hogwarts was all about embracing differences. It teaches us to see past how someone looks and appreciate what everyone brings to the table.
Okay, now I'm seeing all these deeper layers. Speaking of which, let's talk about those characters. Harry and his never give up attitude, Hermione's brains, and Ron's loyalty,
hmm
even when he's being a total goofball. But thinking back now, who stands out to you?
Snape. Always Snape. I mean, he seems like this brooding kind of mean professor, right? But as the books go on, we see a guy who's been shaped by loss, by regret, and loved so strong that it drove him for years. He teaches us that people aren't just good or bad. And understanding someone's past can help us forgive them, even when what they did seems unforgivable.
You're so right. Snape's story is intense. What about Dumbledore, though? That wise, twinkle-eyed mentor always seemed to have the right words at the right time.
He's totally that wise guide, but what makes him so interesting is that he messes up too. He wasn't afraid to admit he was wrong or that choices were hard. Remember that line? It matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be. Like it's saying we can all change and become better versions of ourselves.
So true. He didn't just talk the talk. He lived it.
Yeah.
Mistakes and all. Okay, so we've got these amazing characters, this magical world, but what about the actual magic? Like the spells and classes, did those have any deeper meaning for you looking back?
Oh, absolutely. Even Defense Against the Dark Arts, it wasn't just about fighting weird creatures. It was about facing any challenge in life with courage and being prepared. Remember how Lupin taught them to face their fears by turning a boggart into something silly? That's a great lesson in dealing with what scares us and finding humor even when things are tough.
Well, that's a good one. Like turning something scary into something you can handle, even laugh at.
Okay.
What about the other classes, like potions? Did Snape ever teach us anything useful? By accident, I mean, between all the grumpiness.
More than you'd think. Potions, with all its steps and rules about being precise, it shows how important patience and focus are. Skills that work in any job, really. Even if your cauldron is a computer program. And don't forget transfiguration, like literally changing something into something completely different. Kind of like the changes we go through in life, right? Messy, sometimes unexpected, but you end up growing from it.
Whoa. Yeah, never thought of it that way. Transfiguration, like personal growth. Deep stuff. Okay, so those classes have all these hidden meanings, but the books also dealt with some real world issues, right? Like Hermione and her passion for house elf rights, SPEW and all that. It got people talking about social justice and doing the right thing, even if it's not popular.
Absolutely. Through what Hermione was doing, the books make us question things, to challenge injustice when we see it.
Yeah.
And it's not just house elves. The series tackles prejudice straight on, like Hagrid being judged because he's half giant, and Lupin having to deal with people being afraid of him because he was a werewolf.
Yeah, it's like those characters make us look at our own biases.
Yeah.
You know how quick we are to judge someone based on how they look or what we think we know about them. And then there's how the series deals with death, which, come on, that's a pretty heavy topic for a kid's book.
It is, but it's done really well. The losses, like Sirius Dobby, even Fred. It's heartbreaking, but it shows us those characters and us as readers dealing with grief, figuring out how to heal, and understanding that love sticks around even after death.
Man, those parts get me every time. And it's weird how reading the books as an adult, those themes hit different. The courage Harry and his friends had facing Voldemort and all that danger. It feels more like the stuff we deal with in our own lives now.
It's pretty amazing how the series grows up with you. As we get older, we see those themes of love and loss, good versus evil in a new way. And that main message that love and friendship are the strongest powers there are, that hits even harder as we grow up.
It's funny, we talk about the magic in the books, the spells and potions and stuff, but maybe the real magic is those human connections, the bonds that help us through the bad times.
Exactly. Harry, Ron, and Hermione's friendship is a perfect example. They stuck by each other no matter what, even when they were fighting or messing up. It reminds us that we don't have to go through tough stuff alone, that those connections make us stronger, help us bounce back.
Okay, real talk though. How do we take these magical lessons from Hogwarts and actually use them in our muggle lives?
That's the question, isn't it? I think it starts with seeing that the things Harry Potter stands for, like bravery, compassion, standing up for what's right, those aren't just for a made-up world. They're inside all of us.
So, like, we don't need a magic wand to make a difference.
Nope. We can be like Hermione and fight for what's fair. We can be like Hagrid and stand up for people who are different. And yeah, we can even be like Neville and find that hidden courage when we need it most. Remember Neville? Huh. Starts off kind of shy and clumsy, but ends up being super brave.
I love that. It's like saying anyone can be a hero, and sometimes the biggest strength comes from where you least expect it. And one thing that stuck with me is that idea of facing your fears, like
Yeah.
those boggarts in Defense Against the Dark Arts.
The boggarts. Turns into whatever scares you the most. But to beat it, you gotta face it head on. Make it look stupid.
It's a great way to think about how we deal with our own anxieties. Instead of letting them freeze us up, we can find ways to change how we see them, maybe even find something funny about them. That's how we take back control. Right. Like laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
And speaking of powerful stuff, the series also looks at power itself, right? Voldemort was obsessed with living forever. He'd do anything to get it.
It makes you think about the choices we make, the paths we choose. Voldemort's like the dark side of ambition, where wanting power takes over everything and leads to being alone and causing destruction. Even Dumbledore, with all his wisdom, struggled with wanting power sometimes.
True. It reminds us that power can change people for the worse, and it's important to stay grounded. Remember what we believe in even when things are tough or we're tempted to do the wrong thing. In the end, Harry Potter teaches us that real power isn't about controlling other people. It's about love, compassion, and connection.
Nicely put. And those connections, those bonds of friendship and love are what make the series last. It's not just a story, it's a reflection of our own hopes, fears, and dreams.
Okay, time for a confession. Did you ever try to make a Patronus charm work in real life?
Maybe. But what really matters is that the series showed us that we all have the power to create our own kind of magic. The kind that comes from being kind, being brave, and believing in something bigger than ourselves.
Whoa, that's deep. I think we've officially figured out the secrets of the wizarding world, or at least found some pretty amazing insights. But I feel like there's more to discover. What happens when we take these lessons outside the books?
That's where the real magic starts. It's not just about what we learn from Harry Potter, it's about how we use those ideas in our own lives, how we keep exploring those themes that stick with us long after we finish the last page.
Ooh, I like where this is going. You're about to drop some serious knowledge, aren't you?
The real magic might just be what we do with these insights, how we turn them into action, how we keep digging into those themes that we connect with even after we've closed the book.
Okay, mic drop. You totally blew my mind. What an amazing trip this has been. And you know what? I think the magic's not over yet. We've got one last part in our Harry Potter deep dive, and it's all about you, dear listener. Stick around because things are about to get personal. We're back for the big finish of our Harry Potter deep dive, and this time it's all about you guys, bringing the magic home, so to speak.
Right, we've looked at the characters, the themes, all those hidden meanings, but now it's about what sticks with you out there. What did you learn at Hogwarts that you've taken with you into the real world?
That's a good one. It's like we've unpacked all this wisdom from the books, but the real magic happens when we take it and make it part of us.
Yeah.
So for me, one of the biggest things is that we all have the potential to be amazing, even if we don't have a prophecy or a scar or whatever.
That's huge. Harry wasn't born special. He was just a normal kid who got thrown into this crazy situation, and it was his choices, his bravery, standing up for what he believed in. That's what made him a hero.
So it's not about waiting for destiny or whatever. It's about choosing to be our best selves, right?
Yeah. Exactly. We can all try to be a little more like Hermione, use our brains to make a difference, be more like Ron, loyal to our friends, and finding the funny side even when things are tough. And yeah, we can all channel our inner Harry, face our fears even when they feel as scary as a giant spider.
You know, even Neville Longbottom, that shy, clumsy kid, he ended up being incredibly brave.
Mhm.
It reminds you that heroes can be anyone, and sometimes the strongest people come from where you'd least expect it.
Totally. Neville's transformation is like proof that we can grow on the inside.
Mhm.
He didn't just become fearless overnight. He learned to face his fears, step outside his comfort zone. And when he did that, he found a strength he never knew he had.
It's like the magic wasn't in his wand, it was in his heart,
Yeah.
that willingness to step up. So what's the message we want to leave our listeners with? What's the magic of Harry Potter that we can keep with us even after we close the books?
I think it's this the power of Harry Potter isn't just the story itself, it's the connections it makes, the conversations it starts, how it makes us want to be more caring, more brave, more connected to everything around us.
It's like those books build a whole community, a shared experience that goes beyond age language where you're from. And in that community, you find people who get you, who understand you, a sense of belonging.
That's a great way to put it. And that feeling of belonging, of finding your people, that's real magic. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's remember the magic doesn't stop here. It lives in us in how we see the world, the connections we make, the stories we tell.
And just like Harry, Ron, and Hermione will face tough stuff, we might mess up, but we always have the choice to be kind, to fight for what's right, and find that magic in our everyday lives.
And until next time, may the magic be with you always.
Keep those conversations going, everyone. Share your favorite parts, what you learned, and remember the magic lives on. In you, in me, in all of us.